Today's project is going to be this super fun and easy to make triangle card. It has a magnetic closure and when open reveals your sentiments on the inside, gift cards or images. It folds magnetically and folds flat, easy to insert into journals as well as to send in the mail. Hello everyone, it's Madi with spectrumartcreations. In the end, I'm going to have some variations of this project, so make sure that you stay tuned all the way until the end. Now let's get right into this project. We're going to need minimal supplies and away we go. In step 1, we're going to put together our base. That is going to be the base for the card. We're going to need a piece of paper that measures 6 inches tall by 12 inches wide. When choosing your base, remember that we're going to be able to see both sides, front and back of your paper. And of course, it's going to be something that needs to be more of the pattern nature, not so much an image, because we are going to be also cutting pieces off of it. In step 2, we're going to take our paper and we're going to cut it down to 6 inches tall by 12 inches wide. In step 3, we're going to score at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. If you do not have a scoreboard, don't forget that you can always use your ruler and a pencil, lightly mark at 2, 4, 8, and 10, and then use your ball stylus pen to score the lines. In step 4, we're going to burnish and fold. We're going to start by burnishing the ones on the inside, the ones that are closest to the center first, both on the left and on the right hand side. Next, we'll do the ones on the outer sides, meaning the most outer left and the most outer right. Now we simply decide which side we like best. We fold the center ones, the ones closest to the center, towards the inside, and the outer ones towards the outside. In step 5, we're going to be marking where we're going to make our cuts. So since our card is 6 inches tall, we're going to come down to 3 inches, which is the center, and we're going to put a light pencil mark on either side. Now that we have our center marked, we're going to find that first fold line and we're going to make a diagonal line from that fold line to that center pencil mark. And we're going to do those marks on both the top and bottom, and also on the left and the right hand side. With our markings all done, it is now time to cut. So we are going to simply grab our scissors and just cut on those angle lines. In step 7, we're going to need 2 pieces of paper that measure 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. These are going to be the mats for the inside of our card, as well as one for the back if you so desire to mat the back. You do not have to because we're using double-sided paper. However, if your paper's on the thinner side, that might be an option for you, or if you want to add additional, interest or maybe an image also to the back, that's a great way to do that. In my case, I have found this perfect jumbo journaling card in the Graphic 45 collection that I am using. Remember, we are continuing the series for the writing stationery desk that we have made for Graphic 45 using this exact same collection. All the links to the entire stationery series is going to be down in the description box, as well as the link to the tutorial on how to make the stationery desk. In step 8, we're going to choose our chipboard piece. Now again, the Graphic 45 collections are perfect for these cards because they come with the jumbo journaling cards, which fit perfectly on the inside, and the deluxe collector's editions also include chipboard, and we can choose from so many different pieces that are just gorgeous. So you can use your chipboard pieces. If you have the colored chipboard, meaning the wood pieces, you can use those as well. Or we'll talk about this a little later, but you can also use layered images, and we'll discuss that at the end when I show you the different variations of the card. With our focal point, which is the chipboard, now selected, in my case I happen to have two focal points because I'm using that gorgeous journaling card on the inside. Again, if you're doing a greeting card, you probably want something a little bit plainer on the inside so that you can write your sentiment or message. But with my focal points selected, I am looking through scrap pieces of paper to select what is going to flank my image or the inside of my card on both the left and the right. And that leads us to step number 9, which is the side panels. You're going to need two pieces that will measure 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. And again, if you want a mat for the back, you'll need a 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 piece. Mine is perfect the way that it is. It is lovely, so I will not be using a back mat for mine. But of course, this is another opportunity for you to also be able to do a pocket if you so desire. Also keep in mind that if your paper is on the lighter side, you might want to use a back panel as well. A day in the life of a YouTuber or a content maker. I just wanted to leave this much in here because it was one of those days, and I wanted to encourage everyone out there who is watching this video. Sometimes it's just one of those days. You wake up and it's like or you're trying to create, and no matter what you're trying to do, there's an obstacle. And our job is to push through. On this particular day, my inks needed to be refilled. My glue bottles were stuffed up. Just nothing seemed to be flowing. But it could be one of those really discouraging moments where you just want to walk away and say, you know what, I am just done. And we all have those days, whether it's in our art or in our personal life, and we must persevere. So after I've re-inked my distress ink pad, then I continued on with my project, and so I'm able to go back in and now start distressing all of the pieces that we have cut out, including the card base. But I also wanted to leave that bit much in there because maybe some of you have your own ink pads, and they do last a very long time. Honestly, I've only had to re-ink probably 2 or 3 in my span of my time using them. But when they do, of course, it's important to kind of know that all you have to do is use your dropper, and it depends whether you're using oxides or regular distress inks. Make sure that you look at the actual instructions or match the cap with the side of your pad to ensure that you're using the right one. Because if you do not, you will ruin your pad. And if you mix the inks, there is nothing you can do. There is no washing, there is no fixing, there is no anything. The ink pad is ruined and it's trash, and you have to just go get another one. So always be very careful with that. But the other thing is, I just wanted to leave that in there so that in case you do need to re-ink yours, you see it's as simple as just dropping in your ink and then using your Ranger's scraper, or whatever you have at hand to kind of help that ink push in there. If you do not want to do that, that's fine. You can just give it time and let it soak itself in, and eventually it will do that. But it is definitely a much easier process and quicker if you use a scraper to push the ink down. But if today is one of those days, or maybe later this week, you'll have one of those days, I hope you remember my words. Just push through. Keep on smiling. Put on some music. Whatever makes you happy. And you know what? Tackle one thing at a time. We've got this. With our distressing all done, in step 11, we're going to be adhering our panels. We'll start with the side panels, but first I wanted to talk about those triangles that we had left from the front when we did our cuts. Remember, you can use those as little side pockets, as you see here. You can also use them in the front as corners or as whole pieces. And again, when we do those different variations of this make, which I'll show you at the end, I'm going to go over some more information on and show you how that would look. Remember, in this step, we are only gluing down those two side panels. We are going to leave that center matte panel for last. So in step 12, we are going to bring in our chipboard. This particular piece is made up of two pieces, an outer frame and an inner circle. To prevent it from continuing to pop out, I am going to use my circle punch, 2.5 inches, and I'm going to just punch a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'm going to adhere that to the back, and that will once again make that into one solid piece. I am using the chipboard itself to gauge where the center is. So those corners there are going to help me to angle it just right. Make sure you look at your pieces, make sure that they are centered. If you're working with a cluster perhaps, make sure it is centered by looking at all the sides. Once that is done, I am going to open that up and lightly mark with a pencil just about there where I'm going to need to add my glue. Again, we don't want to apply glue to everything, just to that one half. And as I mentioned, it was one of those days. My glue just did not want to work. And I couldn't figure out why it was clogging, so I just went and got another one for the sake of continuing on with the video. But if you are using art glitter glue, even if you're using your stainless steel top, which is what I have on this one, and the stainless steel pin, You'll notice that once I removed it here, I'll bring it up to the camera and show you, it was pretty grungy in there. It was, see, it's all kinds of stuff in there. So I am going to drop that into a cup with some hot water, and then I'm gonna just rinse it out, make sure I get it all nice and clean, back to spick and span, and it'll flow beautifully after that. So just make sure you're constantly looking at your glue, making sure you're maintaining that nozzle so that it's clear and free of all kinds of gunk, which tends to build up, especially if you tend to leave your glue open without the pin while you're working. You know, art glitter glue kind of dries fast, right? Now, in step 13, we're going to work on the inside mat. The reason why we left it for last is because if you happen to overglue your chipboard piece in the front, you're going to end up damaging your sentiment or image, which is going to be in the back. If you do not have anything on there, right, and you happen to overglue or your glue oozes out some, it will get on that back panel but not damage your image. And so, like I mentioned, there was a reason for the process. I learned that the hard way when I made the first one, so just wanted to pass it along. Step 14 is completely optional, but I just think it lends a little something extra, which is going to be a magnetic closure. To do that, we are going to need 2 magnets, of course, and all I do is I snap them together. I let them self-attract to make sure that I am not using 2 negatives of 2 positive sides. I'm going to use my extra forte glue, which is great for things that are going to have heavy use. As you can see, I am yet again having another glue crisis. It was just one of those days, guys. It was just one of those days, but that's okay. We pushed on. I got a big old glob of glue eventually, and I ended up having to clean some of it off, but our magnet in place, it's going to go right underneath of that chipboard. If you want to finish the bottom side of your chipboard, you most certainly can. I did not find it necessary. Now, to get the other side to match perfectly, all I do is I drop it underneath. So as you can see, I'm going to repeat that again. I'm just dropping it and it will self-attract and self-position exactly where I need it to be. I'll add another drop of glue to the bottom magnet and then just press down and close that. And once that is fully dry, you do have to give it at least a good 15 minutes to dry. Once it is dry, we will have ourselves a magnetic closure perfectly positioned. Now remember those pieces that we had saved either for outside or inside for pockets. I am going to use mine as corners, so I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. The first one is just with a ruler and pencil. We are going to mark the top and the bottom, or the 2 sides, on at 1 inch. Now if you want yours to be a little bit bigger, maybe you can do 1.5 inches. But once you're happy with the sides, we are just going to cut that down to size. Now the second way is if you have a punch, of course, or a maybe die, you can cut corners that way as well. Either one, you can see, works super quickly, super easy to do. The great thing is, once you've got one done, all you have to do is take that same one and retrace it on the remaining pieces, and then you'll have your 4 perfectly aligned corners. With the corners cut, it is time to distress and adhere them. But there's so many different ways that you can use those extra pieces. I'll show you a few different ones here at the end, but I'd like to hear what ideas you might have. So be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are or how you would use them. And also don't forget to check out the description box for all of the links to the products that you've seen here today. In addition, I have also linked the other videos that are part of the writing stationery series. So be sure to check those out and hopefully get some more inspiration for card making or journal tucks. We would, of course, love to have you visit our online store and join us for our live sales here on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribed, and don't forget to use that coupon code. It's a discount code that I'm going to be putting in the description box as well. So lots of great goodies in the description box for you guys. So now we have a beautiful diamond card, easy to make and great for using scraps. It folds nice and flat for travel or inserting into your journals. And it opens up to reveal a beautiful image, a photograph, or a sentiment. And then shuts easily with a magnetic closure. On this one, we've used the extra 4 pieces to create those corners. The corners could have also been used on the inside to frame our image or a photo, maybe make a pocket here on the sides, or on the back as well. This is card number 1, the one we made today, featuring the amazing Portrait of a Lady by Graphic 45. Card number 2 is the original prototype. It features a dragonfly on both the chipboard closure piece, and it opens up to reveal another beautiful dragonfly. It has great collage and mixed media features throughout the paper line. It actually comes from Stamperia's Oriental Garden, and all of these links will be down below. On this one, since it was a prototype, I did not use any of the extra pieces. Card number 3, or variation number 3, features a lot of journaling spots. It has a double chipboard element on the front, and we made this one using Prima paper. It opens up to reveal a really fun flip up. As I mentioned, lots of journaling here and here, also on both sides. Here we have a pocket, and you can also journal on the pocket itself. And of course, you can journal on all the goodies that we've added in the pocket. Also, when we flip this one over and we look on the back, we will see a really nice, generous pocket with a big journaling card for even more writing spots on both sides. So this one is perfect for journaling, as well as sending a card with maybe some poems, some photos, gift cards, and just so much more can be packed into this one. Number 4 is called the Bernie card, after my husband who gave me this idea. The quote says, "A river will always find its path to the ocean." And so we brought that as our inspiration piece to the inside of the card. When we open, we reveal a large journaling card featuring the river, a boat, and a wooden dock. On either side, we have used the wooden planks from the dock, and the water fishies are underneath those planks. The journaling card is latched with one of the cutouts from the paper line. It tucks directly into that piece for closure, and then it opens up to reveal the river, the fishies, and the lily pads, so the water continues underneath the sides as well. It closes back up and then fully closes magnetically. All of these cards have the advantage that they look beautiful, open or close, front or back, so they're great for displaying. This one I made using the beautiful Ciao Bella Delta paper line. On this one, I use the extra triangle pieces in the front of the card, and I use them fully, so it looks like one continuous piece while giving it some dimension. So there is yet another idea on how you can use those extra pieces as well. We hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. We would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and sharing with your friends and in your crafty groups. Thank you so much for joining us. Big hugs from the Spectrum Art Creation Studios in sunny Florida.